You don't really think you'll win, do you? Things change.
Falcons Nation, Rise Up Nation, it's your boy, Jazzy Jeff. Real talk, no gimmicks. Bringing that real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans. And this is a great time for us to bounce back in this division. Now, you saw last night. Last night was a great sign. The Philadelphia Eagles fought back, undermanned, and beat the Green Bay Packers on the road to bounce back to 2-2. And you know what I saw? I saw the great Aaron Rodgers could throw 4 goal line incompletions to lose this game. Now, last time I checked, Falcons fans were jumping off the Matt Ryan train saying he's lost a step and he's fell off. Are you going to say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers? Because if Matt Ryan threw 4 incompletions at the goal line to lose a game, we would be crucifying that man. So I want y'all to keep the same energy for Aaron Rodgers that you did for my boy Matt Ryan. Anyways, moving on. This week we played the Tennessee Titans, and I'm always sick of playing these AFC South teams, these AFC teams, because we're unfamiliar with them. You know, the unknown is dangerous. We don't know their tendencies. We don't know how they play, and a lot of times they can use plays against us to beat us. So we got to be prepared, again, just like we tried to do against the Colts. So with that said, that's why I made this segment called Know Your Opponent, which means, Falcons Nation, I get to educate you on our opponents coming up and what they like to do, the defenses they run, where they stack up in the league, and what to look out for. So with that being said, let's get it started. We're playing the Tennessee Titans. They also run a 3-4 base defense. They are led by, obviously, Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry, their wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Adam Humphries from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Delaney Walker, their tight end. Now, their star left tackle, Taylor Lewan, who I think is probably the best left tackle, if you watch him on tape, in the entire NFL. He's still out serving his suspension for PED, so that is a huge, good thing for us, because he opens gaping holes for Derrick Henry to run through. But that does not mean that we got to take the Titans lightly, okay? Because Derrick Henry is a grown man who runs people over. He ain't Marlon Mack, who still ran us over. This man runs people over, and obviously we don't have Keanu O'Neal in our lineup, so it's going to be imperative that the Falcons come out and set a tone for stopping this run. Otherwise, they're going to gash us just like the Colts did. Because the Titans play, I looked at it on the tape, they play the similar style offense the Colts do with less receivers. So, anyways, let's get into it. The defense, they have a solid defense. They are number 6 in yards per game. But guess who's number 7? The Atlanta Falcons. So that's good to know. They are number 8 in points allowed. They only average giving up 17 points a game. They are number 20th in passing touchdowns, though. So their yardage in defense is good, their pass defense. But once they get in the red zone, they have allowed a lot of touchdowns, including Gardner Minshew last week, who had 2 touchdowns and 204 yards against them. So if Gardner Minshew could do it on his first debut career start, I think Matt Ryan can do it at home with the weapons we have. Marcus Mariota has 0 turnovers on the season. You would think that, you know, the way he plays, he would turn the ball over a lot, but no, he's taking care of the football, and that's one of the reasons why they're playing, decent football. But Marcus Mariota is injury prone, and he is capable of throwing interceptions. We got to force him to do that. How do we force him to do that? We got to take them out of that run game. We got to stop Derrick Henry. We got to stop the play action to their tight ends, and we got to stop Marcus Mariota on third downs to get off the field. Last week, on third down, Jacoby Brissett breaking tackles was just embarrassing to watch. So look for Marcus Mariota to do the same exact thing. If it's not there, he is going to run for it. We have to stop it, or else it's going to be a repeat of last week. On defense, they have this linebacker. His name is Jayon Brown, number 55. And in the last 2 weeks, he's been their best tackler. He averages 9 to 10 tackles a game. So he's a solid guy that we have to block up if we want to get Devontae Freeman going. Obviously, Devontae Freeman, every game, he's been increasing his yards and his carries, which is a good thing. So he's not going to be the Devontae Freeman of old, but as long as he gets up his production to be decent, I think we'll be fine. Ito Smith has just shedded his non-contact jersey, and he's looking like he's going to clear the concussion protocol and be there to back up Devontae Freeman for game time. So that's also good news on our front. Derrick Henry, he averages about 17 carries a game. He has 1 touchdown every single game this season and averages 70 yards a game. So we all know at that goal line, when we run our 4-6 bear fronts, you're going to see a heavy package with Derrick Henry. They still are looking good without Taylor Lewan, even though he's a supreme left tackle. They don't have scrubs in that offensive line. They have a solid offensive line, just like the Colts, so we got to be prepared. Their wide receivers are inconsistent, but their tight end is not. So their wide receivers, A.J. Brown, his first game versus the Cleveland Browns, he went off. He had like 100 yards, 6 receptions, and then the next 2 games, he completely fell off the map. Adam Humphries disappeared the first 2 games. Third game, he went off as well. So they're up and down, just like Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, one game, I think he had like 300-something yards when they crushed the Browns. And then the next game, he went down to like 100-something yards. And then the third game, he came back up to like 200-something yards. So he's very inconsistent. Delanie Walker is probably their most consistent deep threat on their team. He averages 52 yards a game. He has 2 touchdowns on the season, and he's their number 1 option when they come off the play action from Derrick Henry. So that's something we have to look out for, especially because we do not have Keanu Neal, obviously, the rest of the season with that torn Achilles. So who's going to step up? Who's going to guard Delanie Walker coming out of the backfield? So Falcons Nation, let me know your keys to the game, what to look out for, how we're going to attack this Titans defense. I think we have to, just like last game, take our shots when we can, run the football, be balanced, but at the same time, the play calling has to be better. First, I was at that game as well. First drive of that Colts game, 3rd and 9, we ran a draw. That draw had no chance in hell of making the first down. Here's another thing that pissed me off that game. Luke Stocker had more targets than Calvin Ridley. That is completely unacceptable. I don't care what kind of defense the Colts are running. That is completely unacceptable. Calvin Ridley said after the game that he was super frustrated by running against a zone because he likes to play against a man, so he knows how to, break off his route, come back, shake the defender. He said it confused him seeing zone the entire game. That's something Calvin Ridley's going to have to get over. We can't make excuses for execution. He's too good of a receiver to not know how to sit down in the zone and beat zone. And he's too fast of a receiver to run deep and break the zone. And Matt Ryan should be able to take shots just like he did against Philly to beat the zone. So, Dirk Cutter, I'm looking at you. I know a lot of Falcons fans, they want to kill Dan Quinn. But let me say this real quick. Number 1, Dan Quinn can't get out there and play the game. Okay? Number 2, everything that we bitched about last year, we made changes for this year. We bitched about Robert Alford on defense. We sent him packing. We bitched about the defense. We switched up to a 3-4. We bitched about the defensive players on the line. We added defensive players on the line. We bitched about the offensive line. We added 2 first-round picks to the line. What else do you want Dan Quinn to do? Dan Quinn even said in his press conference, if we keep creating penalties, just like we did last year, guys will sit down next to him. So at some point, we got to hold the players accountable for their execution and stop blaming Dan Quinn. Because he's literally making the changes that we all wanted. And now we're still blaming him for what? What, is because you don't think he gives a good enough rah-rah speech? No, it's the player's job to execute, okay? I blame Dirk Cutter first and foremost. Because when I see Luke Stocker having more targets than Calvin Ridley, that is unacceptable to me. When I see us running a draw on 39, that is unacceptable to me. So, Falcons Nation, tell me who you hold accountable. Tell me the keys to this game. Tell me what you think about our matchup versus the Tennessee Titans. And this has been Know Your Opponent. I want to thank all the Falcons fans for having me reach 400 plus subscribers. I don't care if you're the first one or the 400th one. I appreciate every one of my subscribers. It might not mean much to you, but it means the world to me. So thank you for that. And as always, if you like what you see here, comment, subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell so you can receive more of my content. And in all the way, Falcons Nation, we rise up. Peace, y'all.